Welcome to the Joe Monroe Show. Now, here's your host, Joe Monroe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Joe Monroe. I'm back again, and I'm contractually obligated to do this freaking show. And my special guest today, JD Thunder. Hey,
Larry the Leprechaun.
Shh, don't start that. Don't.
Larry.
No.
Larry, come on.
No. My show, my rules. No Larry the Leprechaun, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Now, JD, you've had a career of what? Since dinosaurs roamed the earth?
About that.
No, in all seriousness, you almost what? It's over 30, right?
95 to...
Now, you're still current. It's close.
Right at 30.
You're getting right at 30. How's it feel?
Tired. I'm ready to go home.
Go home. Take it home. So you started in 95. Who'd you first start working for, man?
Delman.
Delman, out of...
Jamestown.
And your first match was with?
Diamond Dave. One of the guys I went to wrestling training with through Smoky Mountain School. Well, it started off Smoky Mountains Wrestling School. Mm-hmm. But it ended up just being Tim Horner's school.
Right. So the Smoky Mountain School, did you stay at the famous Smoky Mountain Hotel, as they called it? Did you get to stay there, or did you just travel on back home?
I came back and forth. I drove back and forth.
Because we're not too far away from Morristown anyway, so...
No, about 3 hours.
Yeah, so have you heard the horror stories of that hotel, though?
No.
Oh, Lord. So Boo Bradley, I heard a story about Boo Bradley. They said his room was so disgusting that roaches were basically vacationing there.
I think I might have stayed at that hotel. I stayed at one down there one time whenever I first went down there to do my tryout. Uh-huh. And the damn cockroaches were bigger than field mice.
Dadgum. All right, so you went from there. How long did you stay there?
I was in training, started in September right before the Legends show in Knoxville. Mm-hmm. I done my first training, so September to March.
So a few months after that, that's when you kind of traveled out in March?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you come back home to Kentucky, or?
Yeah, I came back to Dale.
Okay, and
started working for Dale Man.
Okay, and that's when you started working under a hood, right?
Yep, started off under a hood, Dreamweaver.
Oh, Dreamweaver. Oh, that's an interesting name. So you went to, from Dreamweaver, when did you start going under JD Thunder?
About a year.
So you just worked at, like, the standard year under a hood, then you...
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
I lost my hood in Georgetown.
And you revealed yourself and got JD Thunder. How did you... I know we discussed it before the show. How did you... Go ahead and tell the audience, people how you got your name JD Thunder.
JD is off Jonathan Dobbs, and Thunder is off the Big Green Dinosaur on I-75.
Going towards Knoxville or coming back from Knoxville. You see it better coming from Knoxville.
Yeah.
But you can see it. It's like a dragon dinosaur type of. They actually just retouched that thing not too long ago.
I've not been down that way in over 20 years.
Yeah, they just retouched it. Whenever a big storm hit a few years ago, destroyed it. They just had it repainted and redone. So
cool.
So it's. I thought that was kind of cool that you got your name off that, because I still want to.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, that's cool, and first ever here on the Joe Monroe Show. And yeah, man. I mean, how come you never do any of these? I've tried looking up to see if you've done any interviews like this, and
I don't know nothing about technology. I hate technology.
So you just decide, hey, let's go to Monroe's show, or as you like to call me, Larry. I don't get that old freaking Larry Leprechaun bull crap.
You wear green.
So
Leprechauns wear green.
I'm Irish. There's a difference. Not really.
Leprechauns are Irish.
I swear to God. Okay. Me and Terry England's going to have a little talk about this, because this is bullcrap. They'd probably be like, there's money to be made, Joe. No, there's not. I'm not Larry. My name's never been Larry. It's Joe Monroe.
Your name could be Larry, though.
It's not going to be Larry.
Why?
No.
You could be like the little...
What, Lucky Charm film?
Yeah,
no.
say that you're magically delicious.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it's not going to happen. It's Joe Monroe. I'm no longer wrestling, which is kind of... We'll get into our match, because you were actually the last guy I've worked with. Later on.
I've had a few of those.
You're the last match I've worked with, so... But like you told me, never say never. You'll probably be back in a few months anyways. Depends on the knee. But yeah, so you went from, you started JD Thunder a year after you lost your hood. And from there, you met some pretty good friends along the way.
Yeah, I've met a few friends.
Just a few?
Yeah.
One I actually like talking to you about is Tracy.
Man, I miss Tracy every day.
So how'd you guys meet?
I don't really know. I don't really remember. We worked once at Bowling Green Fair for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Then we met in Franklin for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Henderson. Well, Tracy's oldest boy, one night in Cave City when Terry was running it on Friday night.
Yeah.
After my match, of course, I always wore the Confederate stuff too.
Right.
But Kyle Smothers, he told Tracy, he said, "Dad, if I ever get in the business, I want my first match to be against him," and pointed at me. And I thought that was a real, I mean, to me that was saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I moved to Henderson, Tracy lived just right up the road, about an hour up the road in Fort Branch, and me and him just started hooking up and doing shows together.
Right. So you guys just loved working with each other all the time?
Yeah. He always told me that I reminded him of Stevie Armstrong, his first partner, because I'd much rather be in the woods by myself than be around a bunch of people.
He was actually one of my favorites. If he was still alive, I was hoping to meet him one day and ask him about the FBI. Why did he do that gimmick? But it looked like he was having fun.
Yeah. That's one thing. Tracy didn't care if he was opening match or if he was main event. He just wanted to be on the show and wanted to entertain.
Right, he just wanted to have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's most of us, though. We just want to have fun, have a good time.
And I was with him basically every day that he was in the hospital, the last 2 months of his life.
Mm-hmm. And you guys just stayed in touch ever since. So how long of a friendship was it?
Over 20 years, I guess. I don't know.
Did you get, because I know some of the guys that I know personally would get random phone calls from Tracy. So is that true?
Yeah.
Like he'll just randomly call you?
Yeah. I sat there one night while he was in the hospital listening to him tell the story to the guy that was writing his book. And I just sat there mesmerized.
And just like, wow, okay, I didn't know you did all that.
No, I knew it because he had told me the stories before.
Yeah.
About like him wrestling the bear in Mid-South.
Yeah.
And then he had to wrestle the bear for a week in Continental for the Fullers. So he'd wrestled 3 bears.
I think he's probably about getting sick of wrestling bears.
Oh, yeah. He said that one was, he said that big offensive lineman for LSU got down the football stance and was going to try to tackle the bear.
Yeah.
And the guy with the bear hit it with a cattle prod, and when he did, that bear just demolished that dude's face.
Oh, don't mess with the bear, I guess.
Yeah.
And I bet Tracy was like, I'm out. I ain't doing this no more.
No, he got tricked into working the bear that night by Chavo Sr. and a few of the other baby faces at that time.
You know, I'm not really surprised because people probably call it animal cruelty now. I'm surprised they don't do stuff like that anymore here. I know that was a big thing around here back in the day, but
yeah,
they'll probably say animal cruelty or something, right? Animal rights or some crap like that.
Oh, yeah. PETA or whoever the hell them people are would be all over that shit.
Yeah. So I was watching actually the match you have right here in front of me. I was actually watching that on YouTube. It was at Top Notch Wrestling, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now it was in Hartford.
Yeah.
All right. So we was watching that, and I just remember Just remember you being the heel, just kind of like the chicken shit heel, which is what I'm pretty good at in courting the people. You were just like sitting there messing with Tracy, and this one fellow with the little bald-headed rat tail came out and helped you out. It's escaping me. I just watched it and I can't remember the fellow's name. But you all, honestly, you and Tracy had a really good match.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you...
All I had to do was listen.
Well, that's like with, I want to kind of compare you and Tracy here. That's like with me and you. When you tell me, listen, we're just going to go out there and have fun. We practice something in the back. And then we just went out there and you took control. And that's honestly probably one of the better matches that I personally have had. A lot of people might not say it, but me personally, that's one I enjoyed the most.
The match that you watched of me and Tracy wasn't as good as the match of me and Tracy at Pulaski County Fair.
When was that?
I don't even remember, man. He was managed by Jesse Bell and...
that's his daughter, right? Jesse Bell?
Work daughter.
Okay.
Tracy's got 2 kids. 2 boys.
2 boys.
That's legitimately his.
But Jesse Bell's his...
Work daughter.
That's famously more known.
Yeah, because neither one of these boys got in the business.
Wonder why.
Kyle's into racing.
Okay.
I've talked to him about, at least, I try to get in touch with him at least once a month since Tracy passed away.
Mm-hmm.
There for a while I was talking to him about every day. Because one of the things me and Tracy had talked about while he was sick was if he'd got better, he was going to try to make things right with these boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Kyle should know that.
And you just let him know about once a month. How you doing? You doing all right? Need anything?
Yep, just check on him.
Wow.
I figured if it had been me that had passed, Tracy would do that for my daughter. So,
right. Which I've heard like other stories, not only from you but for other people that knew him. You know, them famous phone calls at random times of the night or times of the day. Brother, let me just pray for you, and you just keep talking and fall asleep with each other on the phone. Did we just fall asleep? I think we did. Well, I think it's reckon we go to bed.
Oh, that ain't nothing compared to being riding with him.
Yeah, I've heard stories about riding with him.
And he'd get worked up and just go off over the least little thing.
His favorite word from what I was told was MFer.
And he threatened, well, I will say, I won't put the name of the person that he was referring to in here.
Yeah.
But we were on our way to a fair show in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And about the time we start to take the exit to go to the town, Tracy smacks the steering wheel and says, he's a big old boy. He's one of them foreign tough boys. He don't know how strong he is. He's strong enough to hurt somebody. He said, but I'll fuck him up.
Well, what did he do to piss him off?
He wasn't even there. He was just thinking about it.
That's just his mentality. Like he was just pondering on it.
Yeah.
Just steaming. Like,
yeah. Because,
oh, Lord of mercy.
then that night at that fair show, I wound up working the first match.
Mm-hmm.
I went out with the guy that he was working in the second match.
Mm-hmm.
I wound up working the third match.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and him got the hell out of there. Because I wasn't doing no more.
He was like, I'm done. Let's go home.
Yeah.
So you've, so out of your career, you've done, 20 of that was with Tracy. We'll
Off
give
and
that.
on.
Off and on, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we could sit and talk about Tracy. Heck, I may ask to do a Tracy Smothers Memorial Show on this. I don't know yet. Tracy was one of my inspirations in wrestling. I still, like, my favorite memory was just with him with the FBI. I know he was a Southern boy.
Yeah,
but
it was from Nashville, Italy.
Yeah, Nashville, Italy, not Tennessee, Italy. And as Joey Styles put it, Tracy Smothers couldn't find Italy on a map.
Now Tracy done a lot of overseas tours.
Yeah. Did you do any overseas tours?
No.
Where's the furthest you traveled?
Louisiana with Tracy.
Oh, wow. So you've been as far as south as Louisiana. Wow. Okay, that's more than what I can say. First south I've been is Knoxville.
But mainly around the Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, and Indiana area.
So right in the technically what people know as the Ohio Valley, and
yeah,
if you want to get technical, now it's the Southern Belt. So some people claim Indiana and Ohio as part of the Southern Belt, but it's not really in the South. But go up to Indiana and Ohio, you'll run into some hillbillies and rednecks pretty quick.
You'll run into somebody from the Lake Cumberland area, no matter where you go in this world.
Yeah, because everybody in the Lake Cumberland area, it's a huge area. I didn't realize when I moved to Somerset about 5 months ago, and I didn't realize how big Lake Cumberland itself was. It goes all the way over into different time zones.
Yeah, well, I was in Orlando, Florida, at a karaoke bar, and ran into a guy that I'd played football with. I hadn't seen him since '92, and this was like 2002.
Okay.
And I ran into him at the karaoke bar. Two people from Monticello, Kentucky, running into each other in Orlando, Florida.
No, that's pretty decent odds, I guess. Yeah. So you've and I'm seeing here, this poster you're holding the title. You've won multiple championships, singles and tag team championships, even with Tracy.
Yep.
Who was your other tag partners that you've won?
Terry England.
No, that's unfortunate. Sorry,
yeah,
Terry.
I know. That was early.
That was early.
Jimmy Valiant, Hitman Louie, Doug Vines, trying to think, Kirkpatrick.
I know Kurt pretty well. Has he always had that mullet?
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm kidding, Kurt.
I'm not. 1980 called. They want their hairstyle back.
Man. So wow.
Let's see, Tim Pritchard, I think. Can't remember anybody else.
Wow. But there's more in there.
More than likely, yeah.
So it's just takes God, man. Like I started looking you up for some research, and I'm just like, geez Louise, you've done this, this, and this. The furthest I was able to find for you, tape-wise, that's on the internet, was in '97. You was working, I think it was like Spider Kid or something like that.
Oh, yeah, and his mask come off.
Yeah, and the mask came off.
That was for Terry.
Yeah.
That was in Glasgow.
Yeah, I seen that, and it was like a minute, and it was someone recorded off of a camcorder. It was '97, and I was watching that, and I was like, that's JD. That's a nice mullet.
We were also wrestling each other one time, and the electricity went off.
Have you had any other stories like that? Like just like the most random off the wall thing happened during a match?
Just normal stuff like the ring ropes breaking.
Yeah.
I've done two where the electricities went off in the building, and everybody freaks out. Hey, they can't see what's going on. Just grab a hold and stay there.
Right. Or just shine flashlights in the ring or something. I don't know.
Well, they used car lights, I think.
Wow. Was it an outside show?
No, but it had a big garage door that you could open and shine the car lights in through there.
Oh, when there's a will, there's a way, I guess.
Well, it was in...
Was it there, top notch?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Was it that little building they have?
Yeah,
in
Hartford.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if you shine a big light in there, I guess it'll illuminate, because it's just metal. It's going to beam off, so.
Of course, Shelby Adcock used to run that building years ago.
Really?
Yeah, which is where PG-13 started off.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Because at first they were wrestling each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris Champion told them they should team up and do the rap gimmick.
And that's
together.
how it became PG-13.
Yep.
So you so you're from Monticello, which a lot of people who are around the area know that's a pretty decent wrestling town. And you've wrestled there. I mean, me and you've wrestled there.
I've wrestled for just about every promotion that's ever run there, except for like 2.
Really? What's the other 2?
That HCW,
mm-hmm.
that ran like 90s, 2000
mm-hmm.
era,
mm-hmm.
and I can't remember. Seems like there was one other one that ran the show there. But I wrestled for Dale Mann there, Danny Fargo there,
mm-hmm.
Terry England, Joe Bailey.
How many times have we said Terry's name? I'm about at my limit.
God. Poor guy.
I mean, you know what, Terry England, did I ever tell you the gas story?
No.
Oh, this is just recent. So we're in just west of Paducah. I forgot what the actual town was, but it was a fair show this past year. We're traveling back, and I'm riding with Kevin Sinclair, which the Scotsman. I'm riding with him. The one that you say wears a dress all the time. That fella.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that fella. I'm riding with him, Brandon Wilson, and I'm in the back. He gets a call from Terry. Hey, because he's driving the ring truck. How long do I got till the gas light comes on? How long do I got till it runs completely out? Terry, you got about 10 miles, buddy. Next exit in 8. Just trying to make it. Okay. So we got off the exit. We go to the gas station. We finally found one that was accepting that late because this is about 12 o'clock at night. And we get a phone call. Brandon, I'm 2 miles from the exit, and this thing's out. So luckily he was going downhill, and he was able to coast off the shoulder of the exit. And to make matters worse, the Dollar General that was beside the gas station didn't have any jerry cans or any car funnels. So we had to get a 3-gallon mop bucket, put 2 gallons of gas in it, then go get those little bitty funnels from Housewares and makeshift a car funnel. And guess who ended up pouring the gas in the freaking gas tank?
I bet it wasn't Terry.
No, it was me. I said, here, Terry. He goes, no, Joe, you can pour it in. What the hell? Okay. And to make matters worse, before we left Paducah, we stopped at Terry's Famous 5-Star. And he didn't get gas.
That sounds like Terry.
And I'm like, what? Because I got out. I said, Terry, what in the hell? Because we gassed up. We was smart. And we thought Terry gassed up. And his excuse is, well, they ain't got no way to pull a freaking trailer in there, even though they have outside. You know, 5-Stars, their space pumps is pretty spaced out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. So he got payback on it, though. He got payback on it. That's my Terry England story.
He hired a stripper one time for me for my birthday.
Oh, good Lord.
I forget where we were at, but we all stayed over. Me, him, Rodney Middleton, and I think Tim Pritchard, and maybe Jim Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
We all stayed. It was up toward Lexington somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I think, best I can remember. I don't know.
Back in the day?
Yeah. It was back when he first started promoting.
Ah, okay. So, do you got any crazy stories like that? I know not of Terry, but just like any crazy stories like I just told?
No, I never did travel with nobody other than Tracy and Doug Vines.
No, I mean, just aside from Tracy going off occasionally, that's about it.
Well, I used to get all the old ICW road stories from Doug.
Oh, man.
About Savage dragging marks in the dressing room and beating them up and throwing them back out. Or the ring rats coming in the hill door, and
yep.
By the time Miss Judy Poffo would start in, why,
half of them's gone.
They'd all be gone because she didn't put up with that.
Oh, Lord. I just did actually, my first episode of the History of Pro Wrestling was on ICW. Dang it, I should have had you on the show, but
you should have got Doug on the show.
Yeah, Doug, he's up there. Terry's the one that we're trying to get me referred to him. I already told you about that. We're trying to do something special for that, which I would like for you to be a part of.
Which he used to. One time they were in West Virginia or somewhere, and they got stuck in a snowstorm, and the people that ran the motel that they normally stayed at nobody was at the front desk that night. So they all just wound up sleeping on the chairs and stuff in the lobby.
Yeah, we're just going to curl up and sleep right here.
Yeah.
Man, that's about the furthest aside from Cave City I've traveled. I don't have any stories that well, but man, this is, so when are you going to retire? That's my next question.
Probably when I die.
Oh, shit. Okay, so can't piss on you until then. Got it. All right.
Yep, Larry. You don't get no Lucky Charms today.
I swear to God. All right. I'm about tired of Larry Leprechaun shit. All right. So you're not retiring anytime soon. What do you got? What's the best advice you can give someone that's starting in the business?
Pay respect to the people that have been there before you.
You think that's a problem lately?
Yeah. I sat there at Top Notch.
Mm-hmm.
I have sat in the same spot every month or every 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
for like 6 months, and nobody came through and introduced herself to me. They would walk right past you and never say a word. So I never did say nothing to nobody.
All right, wow.
I never did give my opinion or watch their match or anything else.
Because they didn't ask.
And then Tracy done a seminar for Top Notch,
Mm-hmm.
and I helped him do the seminar. And after that, a bunch of the younger kids started asking me, because I sit there every month just waiting on somebody to introduce herself or say hi, kiss my ass, say anything. And hell, Kirkpatrick was about the only one I'd talk to.
I know when me and you first met in the back, I knew who you were. I just didn't want to interrupt you because Brandon was up your butt 24/7. And I finally overheard you say, I think it was Smoky Mountain, me and you just started talking randomly.
Yeah.
And that's how that started. Then they ended up working, and then here comes the Larry the Leprechaun bullshit.
I'm going to get you some Lucky Charms.
Don't you do it. No. No Lucky Charms.
They got Lucky Charms minis.
And that is supposed to be exciting for me. How?
Because you're Larry the fucking Leprechaun.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to kill Terry England. I know either him or Wilson's got you into this.
No, it's just me.
Son of a gun. Alright. Well, this is... apparently I got crapped on a lot. So, speaking of Terry England, they're going to be back in Monticello. I know either if you're not working or not, you're still going to be there. You're still going to be there no matter what. So, any advice you got for anybody? This is going to be a Halloween show. I heard they're going to be decorating, so that's going to be fun. We're recording this on Sunday. This is going to be out on Thursday.
Ooh, watch out for Jason.
Jason? Yeah,
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's already been passed. That was this past Friday.
Yeah, but he might come out next Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
Machete and all.
I hope not. If he comes after anybody, hopefully it's Terry.
With a rebel flag. In honor of Tracy. Because the 28th will be 3 years that he's passed away.
Yep. But that's the best advice. Just listen to the veterans and
ask the veterans for advice. Don't be hesitant to seek advice,
mm-hmm.
or to have them. When I first started, I asked Doug Vines every Sunday or every show that he was on and I was on to watch my match, critique it, tell me what I done good, what I done bad.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to take criticism. Constructive criticism, not criticism to make you feel bad, but to tell you what you should work on,
mm-hmm.
what you need to work on, what their opinion of different things are.
Mm-hmm.
Just little stuff like that. And Get through and introduce yourself. When I first started, it didn't matter if, well, the first 3-day weekend I went on with Dale Mann. I worked Monticello on Friday, Russellville on Saturday, Georgetown on Sunday. Worked the exact same match, exact same finish, all 3 nights. But when I walked in the building, I walked through and shook everybody's hand, said, "Hey, how you doing? You know, good to see you, blah, blah, blah." It didn't matter if I done it on Friday night, I done it on Saturday night too, to the exact same people. And I done it on Sunday night. There was a few new ones here and there, but it needs to go back to showing respect to those that have been there before you.
That's one thing I could say about Terry and Brand's locker room, because everybody's done that. Actually, every locker room I've ever been in, it doesn't matter if you know them or not, you shook their hand. I've personally never experienced the non-shaking of the hand at all. But, you know, you're right. That's one thing it's just a sign of respect, even if you know them or not.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, certain people tend to be drawn to certain people and get along better with certain people.
Right.
So if you're that way with a veteran, ask him to critique your match. Right. Ask him what you should work on.
Because that's immediately what I ask you after our match. You know, what do I need to work on?
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, I don't care to help give guys advice because, to me, that's trying to pay back those that took the time to try to help me, like Tracy, Doug, people like that, Dale Mann. You know, that's what they told me to do to pay them back.
Right. Just learn the next generation, teach the next generation.
Try to help the next ones.
Right. Because that's what my cousin, we talked about him a little bit. My cousin Roland Hard. I was telling you, and you're like, yeah, I know him. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever told you that before today. But that's what he told me when I was a young kid. You know, one thing you never stop learning. You're never 100% trained in wrestling.
No.
And always pay respect for the ones that came before, because you can learn a heck of a lot off of them.
The minute you think you know everything about wrestling, you need to get out, because one or two things is going to happen. You're either going to hurt somebody really bad, or you're going to wind up hurt really bad.
Right.
Because it don't matter if it's a guy's first match or a guy that's been in it 30 years that you're working. You should be able to learn a little something from each match.
Right.
And from each person you work. Even if it's something not to do. You know, at least that's something that you learned that you may not have known. Or it could be something. I always have had trouble working the crowd, because I get in there and I get focused on what I'm wanting to do, and I just zone out.
Well, people like you, man. I mean, especially in Monticello when we worked, and when you work anybody else, they're nuts for you. I guess where it's your hometown boy, but
Monticello and has always supported me good ever since I started. Which the guy that got me first started watching wrestling still comes, and he brings his sons. Well, his sons come on their own now. They're old enough.
Is that the fella that howls out JD, kind of bald-headed fella?
Blonde-headed guy?
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering who that was, because every time we come there, even when you weren't there, they hollered your name. I'm like, okay, I didn't know JD was here. Then the next month he wasn't here.
Yeah. That was the one that was yelling for me the one month. It was the guy that got me started watching wrestling, Shannon Hutchison. It was his son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because even before we even start, like as soon as they come in, they're chanting JD, JD, JD. Yep. Part of me wants to go out there. JD Blunder's not here, you inbreds. Go somewhere. But yeah, you're their fan favorite.
Hey, they've always supported me good. Glasgow, Cave City area, because of Terry, has watched me grow. Watched me grow up from a young kid into an old fogey. Bowling Green. I went there for every Sunday night for a year and a half straight for Dale Mann. And then I worked there for Terry. I worked there for J.W. Wildfire. Randall Shane ran a couple shows there. So I went there for a bunch of different people in Bowling Green. Which most of the people that came whenever I was working for Dale is just like the people that at Joe Bailey's shows. I was so young back then that they didn't even recognize me. Like when I came to JC's funeral, Joe barely recognized me. His wife didn't even recognize me. And, I just growed up.
Right.
Or so got old.
How old was you when you started?
I was 22.
Oh, so you wasn't that young, but wasn't that old either.
Well, I had a really baby face. I looked, without a goatee, I looked a whole lot younger.
Well, the promo as I'm, promoting this, if for your permission, they'll see that baby face picture. We'll do it before.
It depends on which one.
I've
got some pictures that nobody's ever seen and never will see.
I'll go through it with you here in a little bit, but JD, I usually keep these kind of short, and we're going on almost an hour.
Oh,
yeah, we've been talking pretty well, man. But I'm going to try to cut it down for about. I usually do my shows about 30 minutes, so that's a lot longer than that's about as long as.
We didn't even get into all the stuff that I brought.
No, I'm sorry we didn't, but we went about as long as Terry England at a buffet line, but we should be pretty good.
Oh no, Terry England at a buffet line now. It'd be a good 2.5 hours.
2.5 hour Broadway with Terry versus Food.
Yeah.
So as of right now, are you just wrestling for UCW and TCW, or you?
USW.
A.
Yeah, Jimmy Walls.
And anybody else aside from the three?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Would you be willing though? Would be my next question. Or you're at that point like I'm just going to stay closer to home as much.
I just want to stay closer. I used to hate when I first started wrestling for Dale Mann. I hated wrestling in Monticello. I wanted to go everywhere else and wrestle because I wanted to make a name for myself everywhere else. Because one, I knew the people of Monticello have always supported me and always been there and cheered for me and to try to help me. But I didn't feel comfortable. I wanted to get better at my craft before I came home.
Okay. So question, following up that, because I'm from Waynesburg. I started in Jellicoe, which I guess, people kind of, fuse Jellicoe and Waynesburg together. A lot of people from my hometown watched me grew up there for about a year. And did you kind of feel like that was kind of cheating because people already knew who you were before you started?
Well,
or people kind of knew?
I had played football since 4th grade at Wayne County. I had wrestled at Wayne County since 8th grade. So, I mean,
it's like the point where people know who you are.
Yeah.
They're just supporting you. Like, I kind of want to grow to see what else I can do.
Yeah.
Outside. I get that. I get that mentality.
And, I mean, I'm one of the guys that I graduated high school with was Wayne County's head coach, Sean Thompson.
Oh, okay.
And the guy that I told you about, Shannon Hutchison, that got me started watching wrestling. Well, me and Shannon used to follow Dale Mann and Chuck Connors to the ring when we were kids. me and Sean used to follow Dale and Chuck to the ring when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they both always came and supported me, and a bunch of the people that I used to work with at different jobs always came and supported me. So I always had a good loyal following in Monticello.
Right. So aside from Monticello, and they liked you or hated you wherever else you went, because I watched Hartford and they hated you because you were heel, of course. And then, watched about a year later around the same area, you're babyface and they love you. That's just the name of the wrestling game.
The more you're hated as a heel, the more over you will become as a baby.
I can see that because compare me and you together, but where I started off as a heel, kind of. And I was in a group. I'm not going to name them, but I went against.
Was it the Leprechauns?
No, it was not the Leprechauns. There was a fella shorter than me, so I guess you can say he was a leprechaun. I did the Junkyard match, which I got up on my YouTube page. That Junkyard match I did with Walter Paul kind of flipped us.
Never heard of him.
He was only in it for about a year or so, but it flipped us because he was a baby, I was a heel. Then the following few weeks later was the next show in Jellicoe, and the crowd was cheering me and booing him. And so we kind of flipped during that match. So I get that. Like, I was really hated before. Then after that match, I was really loved.
See, that's what Bill Dundee told me one time. I had a PWI 500.
Yeah.
And he was looking through it, and who's this?
Who's that?
Who's that? And, I mean, like, back when I started, like the USWA guys,
mm-hmm.
even though I was just working for Dale Mann,
mm-hmm.
they had heard of me. Everybody kind of knew everybody,
mm-hmm.
or somebody that knew that person.
Right.
Nowadays, there's so many people in it that I can't keep up with half of them.
No, I know that feeling. Sinclair, he messaged me. He wrestled, who just had a fair show, Appalachian. They did a fair show this past Friday.
Oh, I ain't got a clue.
But he messaged me, who are these two? I'm like, yeah, I heard of one, never heard the other. There's just so many. I think personally Kentucky, this is why I want to do the Kentucky history. It's kind of booming again in a way. Like, I've seen kind of a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, but at the same time, I seen Dale Mann pack out the Monticello Armory,
mm-hmm.
200 plus every 2 weeks for close to a year. I seen Bowling Green for Dale pack out every Sunday night for over a year and a half.
That's what Jimmy Walls was telling me, where he worked up north for Fargo. They would pack out every Sunday.
Georgetown used to be incredible.
Yeah. That's what he was telling me. He goes, it would be packed out every Sunday.
Yeah.
Just about.
Because, I mean, Chris Harris.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Walls, who was...
Prince Justice, who later became Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Doug Vines begging Danny Fargo to bring those guys in.
And he wouldn't.
And, well, it took a while before Fargo would even bring them in at Doug's recommendation. And, of course, Jimmy was there. Bobby Blade was there.
Which Jimmy was known as Rated X.
Yeah. Which I worked for Jimmy after he started his promotion up some.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of that little old place. Crap.
It's all right, man.
I hate doing that.
Well, you seen me earlier doing it. Took me forever to find these over right behind me. So
too many chair shots.
Mine's a concussion about a couple years ago. So
I was wrestling for Terry one night in E-Town.
Yeah.
And I would, on my way back, I was traveling by myself.
Yeah.
I'd lean my head a certain way and I'd start getting dizzy. So I'd have to straighten it up, lean it the other way, start getting dizzy.
Just got a concussion.
Oh, I've had more than one.
So Terry's the longest running promotion in Kentucky, right? UCW, right?
Should be.
Was it April 97? is what he's told me.
I think so.
April '97. Because he said
I was on the first show that he ran.
Yeah, you were one of the first baby faces that was on UCW.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There, Terry, I mentioned it. He wanted me to make sure that I mentioned that.
I'm also in their Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, that is right. You are in their Hall of Fame. I think, is Terry in his own Hall of Fame? Yeah, he just got put in, didn't he?
I don't know.
I know Jimmy just got put in this past year.
I don't know.
Was you not at Converna?
No.
I think Jimmy got put in. And there was a couple others that got put in, too. Oh, J.R. Rock and... I think it was just J.R. Rock. I think maybe Cody, maybe Matthews.
Yeah, I think Cody might have.
I think it was both of them together.
Because, see, bad thing is, I remember when those boys first started.
You're like, I was showing your age.
I had John Noble and Eddie Browning were the Stormbringers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like second or third match.
Wow. So you're just like, it's been that while.
And me and Sambo and Dale wrestled Killer Kurt and I think John and Eddie. But Killer Kurt had actually went to Union College with my cousin.
In Barberville, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's and you're still friends with a lot of these people to this day.
Oh yeah.
So you're.
I mean, it's wrestling. We don't, it's one of them things where you can go 5-10 years and never see that person,
and then pick up where you left off.
Then you start seeing them 2 or 3 times in a row, and it's like, boom, no time has passed since the last time.
So you're still, of course, you keep up with Terry.
Yeah.
From back in the day because you work for him.
Still talk to Doug.
Still talk to Doug. You still talk to Jamie.
Still talk to Jamie, ex-brother-in-law.
Jamie Dundee, for the record.
Or JC Ice.
Mm-hmm. Which was a former tag partner, right?
Yeah. White Trash Rednecks.
Was that the name?
Yeah.
White Trash Rednecks?
He was a white trash part and I was a redneck. And then I still talk to John Noble every now and then on Facebook, or he used to come in for the Legends shows that the Cashes used to do here in Somerset, and I'd see him like once or twice a year, and it's just like no time had passed. Of course, John's got jacked now compared to what he was.
I wonder why they. I wonder if they will do that ever again. Look, I know Brandon's running Somerset. Wilson had it for Triple Crown. It'd be kind of cool if he started doing this.
Yeah. But
that would take a lot of money, I know. But
yeah, a whole lot of money.
But that would be cool to start, every year. Probably like one of those every 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Legends, TCW presents Legends show. Or a show of Legends or whatever you want to name it. That'd be kind of cool. Might have to pitch that to them.
Yeah. Of course, I got to meet a lot of guys through Jamie, like Brian Christopher. Me and Brian, I got to see a side of Brian that most people have never seen.
And his dad, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. Dutch Mantell. I worked Dutch years ago at Monticello High School and thought he was an asshole. And Jamie was bringing him into one of his shows, and I told Jamie that I thought he was an asshole. So what does he do? As soon as Dutch walks in, hey Dutch, I want you to meet my brother-in-law JD. He thinks you're an asshole. Well, Dutch looks at me and says, well, I might have been.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
I might have been.
And then I wound up working. It was me and Tracy and Derek King against Dutch, Bill Dundee, and Beautiful Bobby Eaton. And Bill's got me down on the mat. Dutch looks in, goes, hey Bill, from this angle he does kind of favor Jamie. I was like, damn Dutch. But I wound up being married to Dutch for like 3 months because I worked him twice at Jamie's different shows. Then I worked him at SIWF Legend Show at Pulaski County Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked him somewhere else for Terry, I think.
Wow. So you met a lot of people along the way, and your career's just going to keep going until you can't go no more, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, folks. JD, if you could sum up your career in one word or a few words, what would it be, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Some do, some don't. Some will, some won't. Ask me, I might.
All right. Puzzling as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been JD Thunder. And, of course, me, as always,
Larry the Leprechaun.
Joe Monroe.
Larry.
And this has been the Pro Wrestling History of Kentucky Wrestlers Edition. Stay tuned for more. You know what? This Larry the Leprechaun shit's got stuff.
You've been listening to The Joe Monroe Show with Joe Monroe. Don't forget to like and subscribe.